Hello everyone and welcome to another video. There's a new bot on chess.com called M3GAN. She is based off a character of a new movie, and M3GAN is actually an abbreviation for Model 3 Generative Android. As you guys can see, it looks pretty scary, and in the movie it's actually a horror character and it's going after people. So it tried to go after me, and I thought like, okay, let's see if I can beat this bot. It's rated 3000 on chess.com. It's the highest rated bot. It's higher rated than Hikaru and everyone else. So let's have a look if we have a chance. I decided to open the game up with the move on d4, and it responded with the move d5, c4, the queen's gambit, and black responded with move c6, known as the Slav defense. The idea is that if I take, black can recapture and keep the pawn in the center, and furthermore, black can still move out this bishop. It's actually an opening I like and teach to a lot of students, and it's one I definitely recommend. But the line I like to play with white is to trade on d5 and play knight f3, the Slav exchange. Knight f6, knight c3, knight c6, and we bring out our bishop to f4. Now here, M3GAN played the move a6, which is one of the main moves. One of the other main moves is the move bishop f5 to bring out black's bishop. M3GAN goes a6, and I play the move rook to c1. Black's idea is that if I go e3, she wants to go bishop g4 and trade off this bishop for the knight. And black's pretty solid here with e6 coming as well, and bishop d6. But I think rook c1 is a pretty good try. And M3GAN here goes for the move knight to e4. So the idea is that if I take, black can take, attack my knight, and I lose defense over the pawn on d4. And black's doing pretty alright here. So I thought like, okay, let me go e3 first. Now M3GAN goes e6. And here, probably I should have just taken on e4. And if black takes, I go knight d2. And the pawn on e4 is quite weak. I don't see a good way for black to defend it. Black can play f5, but that kind of weakens the structure. And if black plays bishop e4, well, here I'll go a3. And black is forced to give up the bishop pair. And white is quite a bit better. I mean, look at these bishops. They're pretty nice. Alright, but I decided to go bishop d3. I thought like, okay, if M3GAN will take on c3, I cannot take with the rook, because black goes bishop e4 and it's pinned, so I'll lose an exchange. However, I can take with the pawn. And even though I have this slightly backwards pawn on c3, I can always play c4 later or e4, and my pieces are pretty active, and black's bishop on c8 will always be pretty passive. But M3GAN had other intentions. She played the very aggressive g5, attacking the bishop right away. And here things are not that simple. For example, if I take on e4, black can take here and have an attack on my bishop, my knight, and my other bishop. So I'm losing a piece here, so I cannot do that. I can take with the bishop, but now black will take here. This bishop is under attack, so I have to move it, and black takes here. And black should be doing pretty alright here with the bishop pair. So I decided like, okay, let me just slide my bishop back to g3. Again, black can take, but I take back with the h-pawn. I get the open h-file for the rook. And I should be doing pretty alright here, given the fact that I have quite a significant lead in development. But M3GAN decided to take the knight on c3. And here again, if I take with the rook, the engine still thinks I'm better here, but I am losing the exchange, which is not quite what I wanted to do. So I decided to take with the pawn, and M3GAN played the move h5, going right after my bishop. She wants to trap it with the move h4, so I decided to play the move h4 myself. Also trying to soften up black's pawn structure on the king side, so M3GAN played g4, hitting my knight, and we jump forward in the center, knight e5. Bishop d6 by black. And here I had some options. I was considering the move f4, but I thought at the very least black can always kind of lock up the position with the move f5, and e4 will be very difficult to achieve here for me. So I wanted to go for an attacking game, because black is way behind in development, and to me right now it's not clear where the black king is going to go. It doesn't sit quite safe here. It cannot sit in the center forever. And, well, queenside castles is probably also not that safe. So I decided to take on c6. Black recaptured, I took on d6 and played the move e4, trying to blast open a center. And if black castles, now I can go queen e2, and this diagonal has been opened up for my queen. So M3GAN decided to take, I recapture, and play the move f5. I mean, hitting my bishop, but it weakens the black king even further. So I decided to drop back to c2, so my bishop can always come back to b3, put pressure here, and M3GAN played king d8. Just sitting, but I mean, this doesn't really solve the issue. The king is still pretty weak. So I play queen e2 with the idea that I can always give a check here, or in event of c4, I can do this. So M3GAN play rook b8, and her idea is that if I go c4, black wants to go queen b4 and trade off the queens. So I played short castles first. King c7. Now still, if I go c4, I thought, okay, maybe queen b4. So I played rook b1 first, also trying to size the b file. Black played e5, and now fantastic move by me, c4. Opening up the line for the queen, and this check is gonna hurt. It's not clear to me what black is gonna do. If black takes here, for example, we take, and if black takes on d4, we'll check. The king steps over, and I have rook d1, winning the queen. And if black takes here with the pawn, well, then I can always give a check. I saw at the very least I have this, and, you know, I win back the material, and I should have a crushing attack here. So that's more than enough. All right, so M3GAN played queen a3. Stopping queen a5 check, and now I took the pawn on e5. And again, black's king here is really starting to feel the heat. Queen e6 is actually a big threat, because I would force the queen trade, and then I would win the rook on b8. So M3GAN played rook d8, hitting my queen, and I played queen f4, trying to open up the line of fire towards the black king. So M3GAN took on b1, I recaptured and played bishop e6, trying to block this advance, but I played bishop takes f5. Okay, hitting the bishop, which is blocking this advance. M3GAN had the move rook f8 in mind. Pinning the bishop, which I cannot move because I will hang my queen, but I had seen it in advance that I have the very clever move queen to d4. And suddenly I'm going after the black king from here with queen a7 and maybe a rook b8. Now, black cannot play c5, blocking the queen's attack, because I go queen e6 check, and this leads to a very quick checkmate. Alright, but what I had missed is that M3GAN, I almost said Mittens, the other popular bot on chess.com, is that M3GAN can actually take here. And I thought, okay, I'll give a check and mate, but she can actually go here, and after rook b8, black has bishop c8. And now you might think like, okay, but we go queen c8, and it's going to be checkmate on the next move, right? Well, black can give a check here. I go here, and black all of a sudden has a perpetual, and I have to choose the right square. I have to go to h1, because otherwise black gets a checkmating attack. So that would not be ideal. So I had to reconsider my options, and I played the move queen b6 check, hitting the king. Now, if the king goes here, I can take on c6, and again, this should lead to a checkmate. So M3GAN went here, and now I played rook to d1 check. Again, it's not clear where the black king is going. I saw that if black goes here, I can take, and if black takes, I was calculating the line with rook d5, king f4, and g3, and I saw that, okay, one way or another, black has to step in the line of fire, and then I should have at the very least a discovery to win the queen. All right, and I saw that, let's say M3GAN goes here, I can always give a check, and if here, I can take, and if the king goes here, I thought like, okay, I go here, and okay, I thought that there just should be something. There should be something, I thought, you know, white's winning, white's winning. So M3GAN win the c8. I take king b8, and actually it's not so easy because I don't have rook b1 available because the bishop controls that square. So I played e6, and my idea is that I want to go rook d7 eventually to block this bishop's attack, and I want to advance the e-pawn in some situations. And here M3GAN played a clever move. She played the move g3. Now with this move, she's trying to create some counterplay, and also if I now ever move the rook, black always has checkmate in 1, so that's not a good idea. So I thought about this for a second, and I decided like, okay, let me just take this pawn here. I don't see the problem. Black can check me, but I'll just go to h2, and my attack will continue. For example, if black takes here, now I have the move rook b1 check, deflecting the bishop because I will collect the queen and white's winning. All right, so M3GAN played rook c8. I gave a check, and she went king a8. Now I was thinking like, okay, I can go rook d7, and what is black gonna do? Well, black still has the move queen c5, right? So I went for that line, but here I saw like, okay, I can give a check and go e7, and black is forced to give up this bishop, and we enter into a rook endgame up 3 pawns for white. And I thought like, okay, I'm not a bot, but I can win endgames like these. If black takes on c4, for example, I'll go rook e5. Black can go after the a-pawn, but I'll have a 3 versus 0 majority on the king side. The pawns really push itself and speak for themselves. And this a-pawn is, I mean, at the very least, I can always, you know, give on my rook and win with the pawns against black's rook. So something like rook f5, just push the pawns, and this should be a pretty easy win. So M3GAN played king b6, I gave a check, and my idea is that if black goes forward, I go rook h6, and there's nothing black can do. Either black takes here, and she loses this pawn, or if she goes forward, she loses this pawn, and she never has a chance of any counterplay whatsoever. The black's a-pawn is really their only hope. So M3GAN just went back, I played rook h6, rook a5, and king h2. And same idea, if black takes here, I take on h5, I get a 3 versus 0 majority, and that should be quite an easy win. So M3GAN went back, and now I decided to set my pawns in motion with the move g4. Takes and king to g3. All right. Attacking the pawn over here, so black takes, but now I just push the h-pawn. And sooner or later, black is forced to give this pawn on g4. And again, I'll have that 2 versus 0 majority on the king side, which is just going to be lethal. So m3GAN gave a check. I took and rook c2, hitting the pawn. Now, I could have played g3 here, but I thought like, okay, she can always take and get the rook behind the pawn. So I play king h3, takes and rook f6, a5 and h6. I start pushing my pawn. I mean, h7 is very close, and then it's just game over. So m3GAN played here, trying to do rook h1 check. So I play king h2, rook a4. The idea is to go rook h4 check in case of h7. So I played rook f3. So I can always put my rook in between. Rook e4 was played, h7, trying to promote the pawn. So black played rook e8, and here comes my second asset, the g-pawn. If I go g5, g6, I just win the game. So m3GAN tried rook h8, trying to win the h-pawn, but now came a check, king a6, and g5. And as soon as this pawn comes to g6, the pawns are connected, and the game is over. I mean, black would have to have his a-pawn all the way down here for me to give up the pawn, but I'm well in time to go g6 and bring my own rook back. So m3GAN push the pawn, g6, and play king b5. If black pushes the pawn, the easiest way to win is just rook f3, collect the pawn, bring the rook back, and promote the pawns on the king side. So m3GAN win here. I play king g3, not g7, because I will lose the pawn. Black can sacrifice the rook, and this should be a draw one way or another with the pawn versus rook. But we play king g3 first, king b4, and now I just push the pawn, make another queen, and with a queen versus this pawn, this should be an easy win. I brought the queen back, brought the king over, collected the pawn, pushed the black king to the edge, and the checkmate was very near, and there it was. So we defeated m3GAN, the strongest bot on chess.com. It's rated 3000. I think, to be honest, it's a little bit weaker than its rating. I definitely think that the Hikaru bot, the Magnus bot, and also the Mittens bot are stronger. Talking about Mittens, how strong is it actually? I don't know, but at any rate, I do hope that all of you guys enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one.